Battle of the Challenges podcast with Vincent Cloud
and David Lauer.
Rivals 3, Episode 8, Stand By Me.
Stand By Me is, I guess, a reference to the final mission where they're standing in the boxes together.
The final mission? You mean the mission?
Or the mission. The final mission of this episode. The only mission.
Yeah, and which we cut off mid-mission this time, right? Like, we end with part 1 of the mission, which is an all-night thing. And
it was very long. A lot longer than a lot of people expected.
Yeah. So at the very end of all that, then it's the beginning of the next part. And then we get another to be continued. It's not to be continued. They never say that, of course. They just cut.
Yeah, but we didn't get to see the conclusion of, like, the mental puzzle that they had to put together.
Yeah. And, okay, so that's where it cuts off. And I guess what I have to say is that it didn't surprise me. You know what I mean? Like, this season's been a certain way where I'm like, I always expect the unexpected. Meaning, what the producers want us to know is that things aren't always going to go as planned. You know? It's not going to be a full episode. We've only had
like the last 4 episodes, I feel like, have been full episodes. Right?
Yeah, because they were slow. I felt like they were slowly writing themselves. Like, the show was slowly, standing up straight and, like, performing and putting its best foot forward and shit, finally. And getting rid of the fat, trimming the fat, So it's a return to form, which is formless for this season, It's always going to end on, like, such a weird note. Like, oh, okay. I mean, you really had us going with everyone going crazy, staying up all night, and now we want to see who ends up winning it all. But we don't get to see it, you know what I mean? But the reason why overall, because the first half of the episode is all about the drama once again.
Yeah. With
the king and queen of the season and of drama. They have many sashes over themselves, many titles, many crowns.
This is Rivals 3. They are the main rivals this season.
They kind of were.
Always. Through and through, they've always hated each other. We've seen with other teams, they kind of get along, they joke around, they pal around. Tony and Camilla are the one team that's always fought, constantly.
And they're huge stars.
Yep.
And they drive the drama, but they're also competitive and blah, blah, blah. So now, oh God, we're jumping. We're jumping ahead of the episode so much.
Yeah, we just need to start talking about the beginning because they basically get into it right away.
That's true. Right before that, in the pre-card or whatever, what would you call it? I don't know.
Yeah, the pre-show.
Corey flirts with Cheyenne once again.
Yep.
But he doesn't seem to be getting anywhere. He's really fucking chipping away at her.
Says that he's sexually frustrated. And she's not going to give up on her morals. Like, she's just like, no, not happening, Corey. She's like, for whatever reason, she decided she's not going to have sex on this show. Even though Corey's trying his damnedest. Yeah, she's not having it.
He should move on. He should do something else.
Yeah.
It's not really reflecting good on him.
He's striking out, yeah. But the thing is he's still looking for that redemption. Because think of the sin he committed last year on Bloodlines. He got with Anissa.
Oh.
Like, he's trying to cleanse himself from that. Like, I can understand. He wants Cheyenne.
Okay.
He needs to get something. Like, he's got to get rid of the stench of Anissa, right?
Yeah. And he's like, and I've considered it, but I don't know if Ashley's going to be that soap, that bar of soap that I need. You know what I mean?
She's not going to be very cleansing.
No. Okay, so
then they kind of they cut to Tony and Devin. They're all sitting outside this club in Mexico.
Oh yeah.
And who else is Bananas there or Vince or somebody? No, this is just outside the club. People are dancing inside, and Tony and Devin are kind of sitting out there. I think with Bananas, and Tony's just talking about how he hates Camilla.
Yeah,
Camilla steps out of the club and is yelling hey, come on guys, come and have fun, dance, quit being so lame.
Yeah. And
then she goes away and she's in a good mood and she means it okay, come on, just have fun, quit being a bunch of party poopers. Well, they're just hanging out there drinking, talking shit.
Yeah, and the thing is though, she says that to the 2 men closest to her in this entire season. Her own partner Tony and her sort of love interest Devin. Yeah. So I think that was probably the best part. She's like, you guys are fucking, lame as shit or whatever. You're duds. I don't know what she said. I have no idea what she said. But that's all I have for the bar. I only wrote when they get back to the house and Vinny bumps Camilla over.
Yep.
Is that the only thing?
Yeah. That's exactly where I was going next.
Yeah? Okay. Yeah. So is that what happened? Like, was Camilla, like, bent over trying to pick something else?
I think she was going down a step, but there was a crowd of people, and Vince just happened to kind of take a step back or something and bumped into her.
Is that what happened? I have no idea.
I think I watched it twice, but I still couldn't even tell what happened. I just saw her go stumbling, but it was an accident, and everyone kind of knew that. But all the guys at the house, they just started to kind of like pick on her about it, and they're like, "Oh," and they're just kind of giving her shit, and they're giving her shit in the way that they kind of know Camilla is a hothead and she likes to get into arguments, and they're kind of just like, Kenny and Evan kind of being a bully. Just kind of, all the dudes are kind of just agging her on, and she starts to get angry, and it was exactly what they wanted. And I don't think it was at like the same level as what they did to like Tanya or anything. But Camilla, over the last 4 episodes, has been so obnoxious and so like emotionally out there.
Hair trigger.
Yeah, so now the guys are making a game of it, and they're all joking around and laughing. You see Bananas and Vince, they're having a good time. They're joking, they're making fun of Camilla, and they're having a good time.
Those two, precisely. Vince and Bananas.
Yep.
You said the guys are having fun with her. I'm like, Devin isn't. Who else is there? Wes is not. Dario isn't. Jamie isn't. It's Vince
and Bananas. That's very true.
Yeah. And okay, so now this is where it goes from bad to worse, because now Camilla's still up, right?
Mm-hmm.
Tony has gone to sleep.
He was drinking a lot out at the club. Like, he got drunk, and now he's home and he passed out, and he's already asleep before anyone else. Meaning that he drank a lot. And now he's getting woken up.
By?
Bananas.
And Vince. Yep. They're waking him up to handle his partner.
To fight fire with fire.
When I first saw that scene, I was just like, that is a stupid idea. Both in terms of, like, waking up that hothead for that hothead. I don't know. It was just like, I knew this was really to make sparks fly.
Fight. Yeah. Because you knew that they were drunk, so why are you, you're throwing another person into a combustible, like, spot where you know they're going to fight. Like, yeah, that's what you're trying to do. And he just blatantly goes for it. He does not give a shit.
He gets up and he confronts Camilla, and Camilla's like, "Oh yeah, what are you gonna do?" Because Tony tends to really kind of not necessarily puff his chest out. I guess I'll say that. Yeah, puff his chest out and kind of stand up in a very confrontational like pose, which is usually reserved for when you're about to get in it with another man. The thing is, he doesn't really have a different take for a woman. He does the same thing. He still puffs
his chest out and tries to look down on them, get in their face. He's not just talking and yelling from afar. He's physically confronting Camilla.
It is. I mean, he's stood next to people before, but usually he just kind of has his arms resting on each other, just kind of in front of him, kind of business-like, whatever, sage-like, whatever. But this time, he goes beyond that. He actually puts his arms up, corners Camilla, literally, quite literally. Mm-hmm. This would almost be like a clinch-like scenario.
He's got her up against the fence,
against
for sure.
The fence, yeah. And Camilla's like, she says, "Oh, what are you gonna do? Hit me?" and shit like that. Now, everything Camilla says, yeah, she's getting threatened, or he's putting on this threatening pose or whatever, and she's responding like anyone would. But you also have to add the fact that she's Camilla. Fucking Camilla Nader.
And she's trying to instigate it as well, because like Tony kind of starts this weird aggressiveness. Camilla was always kind of chill and just like laughing and saying stupid shit at him. She never seemed mean about it. But then Tony kind of got like pinned her in the corner, and then got up in her face, and then Camilla started to be like, "Oh, what do you want to punch me? You want to get physical?" Because that's what Tony was kind of moving towards.
And like moments before that, when they were yelling, Camilla's like, "You're giving them what they want. They want us to fight. They don't give a shit about us. You're falling for it. You fucking idiot." Like, this is, Camilla doesn't know how to damper a fire. She only knows how to squirt more fluid on it. lighter fluid.
Okay. Same kind of fluid here.
I'm not saying she's a squirter. No.
But it works for the season because this is Rivals 3. Tony and Camilla, they are the ultimate rivals we have had all season. They really personify the whole theme of this season.
They have. Why they were put together in the first place was just kind of like very touch and go, but producers obviously saw the dynamic between these two, the chemistry or the non-chemistry. What is that called?
Or the fact that they both have emotional issues.
Yes.
And they fucking freak out, and alcohol issues.
Yeah, it was a stretch, but it was a brilliant. It's brilliant casting. Brilliant.
Yeah,
as
they've been
like,
awesome together.
Look at them; they've dominated nearly every single episode. Like I honestly saw them going to the end, possibly winning.
Yeah.
You know. So, anyways, they get separated because it's getting so heated between the two. Jamie, prison guard Jamie, picks up Tony and walks away with him.
Yeah, he's gonna take him to solitaire.
So they put him in the hole or whatever.
Yeah.
And Devin's talking to him, or he's like the priest giving him, like before he gets put to sleep, like. But no, actually, Devin's like, hey, I like Camilla. You can. Well, I don't know. He spoke his piece. He basically said you cannot pose yourself like that on a woman. Placing both arms.
Yeah, you can't put her in the corner and make her feel like she's trapped.
And then, meanwhile, Nany and Nicole take Camilla away from them, and that does not help. These so-called two friends, Nany and Camilla, I've said this plenty of times before, where I'm like, they're friends, yet it's just, I can't, they're both horrible for each other. They should not be friends at all. Because soon, Camilla doesn't listen to Nany, and of course, Nany will only try so many times, and then eventually she'll be like, you know what, fuck you too,
Yeah.
And Nicole's in there.
I like that, though. I really like Nany in this part, because she's trying to help out Camilla, and she's like getting in her face, and she's like, hey, she's getting on Camilla's level, like, alright, we'll talk in Camilla right now. I'm gonna yell at you, try and calm you down. And then, you know what? She had a timer. She's like, I'll give this 3 minutes, and in 3 minutes, it was not working out. She's like, oh, fine, walk away. I tried to get you to calm down, but whatever. And she just storms off. And to me, that's maturity by Nany, because she's like, you know what? I'll put in a little effort here, but I'm going to try and put out the fire that Bananas and Vince started. But you know what? Nany comes off as kind of cool to me.
Okay, well, I mean, I do like... No, I'll say this. You have to stop using the word maturity, because you once described Camilla as being mature this season. And then an episode later, she completely changed her mind on that.
2 episodes being just like cookie cutter clean, not doing anything. I know.
And then
secondly, they introduced the booze, and then shit got weird.
And then secondly, Nany and Camilla, how many fights have they had this season? How many fights have they had overall? They are both idiots. There's no maturity in them trying to help each other because it never works.
Yeah, but I feel like Nany makes more sense in their petty arguments, so I feel like she wins.
She comes off looking better because she's the one who pretends the most. Of like, hey, this will help, right? You know what I mean?
Nany does?
Yeah.
Yeah, but I feel like she's genuinely like trying to calm the situation.
The same thing happened on Free Agents. Remember that? Camilla was mad and Nany comes in, and then Camilla starts getting mad at her instead, It's just this.
Yeah, so they've known each other such a long time.
There's no maturity in any of it. I just that when you said that word, I was like, oh, really stuck out.
I feel like Nany has grown up compared to what she used to. I feel like before she would have gotten into an argument and just stayed in that argument for another 3 hours.
Yeah, so
like
the
this
fact
time,
that she cut it down.
She interjected. She acts as a little crazy, but she kept. It's like, I'm keeping it down to 2 minutes. Then I'm moving on from it. Respected it.
All right, so now this is the crazy part. This is the crazy fucking part of this the episode. Producers the next morning, they're like, "Hey, do you remember getting woken up?" And Tony's like, "No, what happened?" And at first I'm like, "Oh, this is just a part of someone saying I don't remember," playing it off, but he truly doesn't. He's a fucking alcoholic that's been established throughout the season. It was even said now, I don't know, by Wes, by Bananas, by anyone. They're like, Tony's drunk all the time. And we all know Camilla likes to get drunk and shit. So, producers like, do you remember getting woken up? Keyword, woken up. By Vince and Bananas.
Yep.
Right? And it was so weird the way it was filmed, the way it was just like the producers like, do you remember doing this to this woman, Tony? And Tony's just like, he's trying to, he's smiling, so he's kind of make it kind of jokey, like, the tequila got to me, you know what I mean?
But the thing is he never really did anything that was that intense. He never got physical. He never touched her. He did put his arms around her and kind of pinned her up against the wall, but he never put a hand on her. He did that one little incident, and then she ended up throwing a glass at him.
Oh, that's right.
But he did throw that trash can over towards her feet.
He kicked the trash.
I remember that. And then she threw that glass. And throwing glass, that's legit. You can throw some glass in somebody's eye and go blind.
That was a lot of shit that went down. Yeah, I just remember the posing, what he did in the corner. Put baby in the corner.
It was pretty nuts to see, like, the producers talking to Tony. Tony doesn't really remember that he was drunk, or
and isn't that
he's like, I guess I shouldn't have done that in that state of mind, but he doesn't remember it at all. And it's like, okay, MTV, like, you've been getting these people drunk on purpose. You've done it purposely. This season we've not had like a challenge at the end. We've not had an elimination because you decided, we're gonna have dinner or we're gonna go out to a club.
Yeah,
they've been trying to introduce alcohol, and these people are getting accustomed to going out and getting wasted every night, like Tony does, Camilla does. Everybody in the cast drinks to a certain degree.
Yeah.
Obviously, some people are more responsible about it. You have people like Wes, who seem to keep it under control. There's people like Corey, for the most part, has kept it under control. Dario
Cheyenne
seems
would
to.
disagree. She's like, no, he doesn't keep it under control.
Yeah, there's like Jenna and Kellyanne and Sarah. They all just sit there and drink responsibly. But like Camilla, she drinks a lot. Tony drinks a lot. I feel like Vince and Bananas drink a lot too.
Yeah.
Jamie too, maybe.
And this season has had the most bar scenes so far. And it's only halfway through. I would imagine this entire season, nearly every episode, they're drinking. They're,
and the producers, they put them in that situation. And this all that happened between Tony and Camilla, it was after they went up to the bar that night in Mexico.
Plus they make them pay for it. Isn't that the fucked up part of it all?
They put them in that situation and then they punished them for acting how they were enticed to act. They got as close to being physical as possible but never crossed the line. This is exactly what the producers want them to do. Like, they want them to be rivals, they want them to fight, they want them to get as physical as you can, but you never touch them. They did exactly what they were asked to do, and then they got punished for it.
And it's interesting because I don't know, obviously both of us are not women. We do not know how much of a line he did cross. The women on the challenge, however, there was never a confessional where they're like, you never fucking cross that line, you know what I mean? The only perspective we got was from TJ saying it and Devin saying, like, don't you ever do that. Yeah. Or you don't do that to women.
And it was not polite. And I guess you could say he crossed the line, but he didn't physically put his hands on her, so...
And
I remember, think that's still short of that threshold of abuse. Like, if he never touched her, never put his hands on her, he didn't do anything bad.
But again, we don't know. I mean, like, when there's, I believe there might be a bigger...
Yeah? Is it possible that there was a more physical exchange that we didn't see?
No, I'm not saying that at all. I'm just saying from a woman's perspective, who knows? Maybe that's just like, listen, the way you posed yourself around me, you know what I mean? That's just like, that's stepping over so many lines for me. But Camilla, on the other hand, was like, what are you going to do? Fucking hit me and shit? Like, she wasn't backing down.
Yeah.
And maybe that's why we interpret it as men to be okay, because she didn't mind. But no, Camilla's a lot tougher. Or so I don't know. I'm just saying, like, I don't want to just say, like, he didn't do shit. Where the fuck is he getting kicked out? No, that's not the case.
But technically, he didn't break any laws. He never put physical...
To a woman, there's different laws, emotional laws.
But they've put up a standard. Like, last episode, we had Vince went up and, like, pinned Thomas against the table. And he physically put his hands on him.
Yep.
This time, it did not happen at all. There was no physical contact. So, TJ comes out and he says, I warned you, and it's time to make good on my promise. Time to make good on your promise because of what happened between Thomas and Vince. Like, they put their hands on each other, but... When did Tony actually touch Camilla? No, they just got drunk and yelled at each other. Exactly what you wanted them to do.
And guess what? Vince was involved in both those scuffles in one way or another.
That's true. Ooh.
What a bastard.
I know.
But I'm sure
he's
no one's
carrying on the
think
Bananas
that.
name loud and proud.
Oh, for sure. Jesus Christ. What's next? Okay, so after that, he's like, Tony Camilla, you're out of here. You're fucking out of here. You, the stars, huge booking.
I know.
Huge names.
I can't believe they got rid of them like this. I feel like they could have milked this drama for the rest of the season and made a real good story arc.
Me too.
Because they were doing exactly what they were supposed to do. They never got physical with each other. They're just yelling in each other's faces, all drunk, and talking about, like, Tony said multiple times how much he hates his partner. This is rivals. He's being a rival. And now he's punished for it? For not really crossing any lines that I can see.
Yeah. I mean, you know, you're coming at this as like, okay, this is what the show's about. And yeah, me too. I'm just surprised you guys got rid of them. Like, it's kind of like Roman Reigns getting kicked out for possible, what is it called legally? What is it called?
He violated the wellness policy.
Violated the
wellness policy. So now
which
he's
means
suspended 30 days.
No weed, no Adderall, no steroids.
Yeah.
Right? You're three basic groups, people, and you violated one of them.
Basic drug groups.
And it's like, wait a minute, isn't producers, Vince McMahon, the producer of wrestling, aren't you putting all your eggs in Roman Reigns' basket? Why would you do this? And that's how I felt about this. Kicking out Tony and Camilla on this, where I felt like those were your two biggest draws in this season so far.
Exactly.
Shocking.
It was.
I laughed.
Some of
you
the
were
most,
there.
Yeah.
I laughed. I was like,
this is like some of the most entertaining TV we've had has been Tony and Camilla. Every episode, I like Tony a lot. Camilla, I don't like her, but there is a part of me that's kind of like enjoys watching her do her thing on TV because she's a little bizarre. You never know where she's going to go. She's very passionate and she loves to argue. So while it's annoying that she argues, she's still very good at it and entertaining while she does it. In this episode, I don't even feel like she didn't really do much to instigate Tony at all. Like, not really until he got in her face.
Well, he
at
was
first,
blackout drunk. He didn't remember getting woken up at all. Did we even cover that, like, specifically?
A little bit.
He was blackout drunk.
Yeah,
and
he didn't
Vince
know what was
Menez
going
wake
on.
up. And so, yeah. Zombie mode, crazy.
And Camilla, she acts
scary.
She acts pretty normal for the most part. She's like, oh, you're going to throw some eggs again at the floor like you did last episode?
Yeah,
she's laughing and joking with him. She was not very aggressive, but Tony was like, Vince and Bananas, like, hey, we're going to wake him up. We're going to really just start some shit here, basically.
Yeah.
Like, he was drunk enough where he went to bed when he first got home. And instead they're like, oh, we're going to start fighting fire with fire. We're just going to start shit. And they did. They caused all of this drama.
Yeah, but it's not acknowledged in the episode itself at all.
A little bit.
Who said that?
Well, Banana says himself, like, you could argue...
Yeah, but himself. I want to see someone else say, hey, guess what? There are huge threats in this episode.
Yeah. Hopefully the next episode, maybe some of the teams will kind of speak out and be like, hey, they're the ones who really caused this drama.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, I still feel like it's wrong that the producers are getting rid of Tony and Camilla because they never really crossed the line. They were towing that line just like they were supposed to.
Yeah, they were professional
They
train
didn't
wrecks.
They never went past. They didn't do what Vince and Thomas did. They were a level below, and then you punished them for it.
Yeah,
they're like, okay, this is the line. We won't cross that line, like because it's usually like don't hit each other. This time it was just like, okay, don't grab each other. Make sure you don't push up against someone.
Yeah.
So Tony doesn't touch her at all. Then they get punished. Like, make up your rules, damn it.
And in the morning, Camilla said, yeah, I know it was bad, but was it that bad? Or, like, I can't remember. Did she remember what happened necessarily either?
I think she did for the most part,
okay.
But maybe not.
But, like, obviously she's not happy with it.
I mean, but, like, to her, it really wasn't that bad either. I don't feel like this was that bad, but everyone was making it out to be super bad.
And obviously she doesn't want to get kicked out. You know, okay, so, well, they're gone. All right, let's move on. We have to. We have no choice. Wes shows up, and very somber. Holy shit, he has the phone, and he's like, hey guys, I have a T-Mobile Sidekick message. And We have to do a mission in about 20 minutes. Like, he just seems so... He was just like, hey, guys, we got to do this. He was just totally like...
Sarah's like, is everything okay? What's wrong?
Yeah, that's right.
And he's just like, well, yeah, the cell phone says, yeah. T-Mobile sidekick, we got a mission, and it's going to be in 20 minutes. And everyone's like, what? We got to go now? And I thought this was awesome. I was like, sweet. I love it when they do shit like this.
Crazy nuts. They have to show up at the jungle.
But I want to point out that the fact that this is the evening time again, right? It's dark out.
Oh, right.
So that entire
good
day,
point, good point, yeah.
that entire day, they've just been like allowed to like sleep off that thing. Like Tony and Camilla got sent home, and they're just chilling out of the house now all day. Basically, right? And now it's dark again.
So well, it depends. I mean, was this a mission day? It couldn't have been, right? It would have to be...
It was just the day between... Wait, what was before this?
See, it really depends, because during a normal week, was it 7 days a week? It's the first day would be mission, and then the second day is elimination. Third day is interviews, then it's mission, then elimination, interviews, then a day off. So it really depends on where that fell into place. So you basically record 2 episodes a week. So
ideally. But this episode has a longer mission, which makes sense as to why it was kind of cut short, because the mission is very long.
Oh, yeah, no, I agree. I'm just kind of curious on what day they were prepared for. You know what I mean?
I think they were just expecting to have that day off and to just do interviews, right?
No, that makes sense, because they always get a text the night before about what the mission's going to be. But now they're like, it's in 20 minutes instead. Okay, I just, totally forgot. All right. But yeah, this is called Up All Night. They have to show up at the jungle.
Yeah.
The mission of the day is actually the mission of the night. Right? It's fucking late. Wes gets the cell phone. He's like, oh my god. Like, he doesn't even deliver it like, hey man, guess what's going to happen, guys? He gives a grim performance, and it's brilliant. Because that's exactly what it's going to play out as.
Yeah.
It's this bizarre fucking, like some sort of David Lynch-like movie where you're like, this is fucking up with my mind and shit.
It was like Gone Girl a little bit.
Yeah, total fucking Gone Girl.
Girl with the dragon tattoo.
He did the girl with the dragon tattoo. Any David Fincher movie, basically.
I just watched that movie last night.
Yes. And you know what? A little bit of 7 in there. Why don't you? What's in the box? Right? Anyways, what are we
got to the mission here.
Which is being held at the jungle.
Yeah.
Which threw me off. I'm like, what the fuck?
Normally we just go to some beach somewhere or above some rocks.
That's true. And it's typically during the day, but now it's night. And I'm like, that's why I'm like, this is a jungle, right? But it's not. This is so fucking weird. TJ shows up.
And it's called Stand By Me?
No. It says Up All Night.
Up All Night, okay.
Stand By Me is the name of this episode, right?
Ah, yes, that is correct.
So, Up All Night. And he says every few hours, like there's 3 big giant wooden boxes, right?
Yep.
You stand on one for 3 hours, then another 3 hours, or something like that. Every few hours, he says.
Every few hours, you'll hear a horn, and then you step down to the next box.
Yeah, and you will notice that they get smaller and smaller, so the closer you have to be next to each other and shit like that.
And then he says at the end of the night, he's like, pay attention, and at the end, there's a mental game.
Yes.
So... We're not exactly sure what's going on, but like they kind of cut to Sarah, and Sarah's like, "Hey, TJ said something about paying attention, so we need to keep alert and be aware of our surroundings."
Yeah, exactly.
And so Sarah's very smart. She's a smart, wily veteran. And as we see some of the rookies, they didn't really quite catch on.
Oh no, no.
So like. It kind of starts, and they're kind of just sitting out there, and they're standing on the boxes, and they're just waiting for the game to start. And Bananas is talking, and Vince is talking, and Wes is talking, and they're all just joking around, having a good time. And it seemed like a nice, fun little interaction going on.
Yeah. Did we mention that they have to pay attention because there'll be a puzzle at the end?
Yep.
Right. And then they'll also win $1,000.
Yeah.
It's been a long time.
That's a lot of Junior Bacon cheeseburgers, according to Daria.
Yeah. Yeah, man.
Apparently he was hungry in that interview.
Yeah, fucking A. He's making that BK cash that day. He's fucking plugging. Okay, so let's start off. And then what's the first thing to appear? A mariachi band shows up.
Yeah, we get some ranchero music. And they're just blasting on the horns and playing the little guitars.
Yeah. The certain song.
Yeah,
and then it stops and they clap. They're like, good, good. And then they start up and they start playing the same song over again. And then yeah, and then it stops and they clap. They're like, good, good. And then they start up and they start playing the same song over again. And they're like, oh.
Sarah's like, oh, they're just going to do it over and over again. I see what this is. Sarah has it pegged immediately. That's why I like Sarah. She's kind of likable at times.
Yeah,
right?
she's
a little bit. Like,
yeah.
I know I've definitely dampened on her some. Like, I'm not in love with her like I used to be in Battle of the Exes 2.
When it comes to Sarah, there's a difference between personality and performance.
Yeah, it's true.
She's a good performer.
Yeah, when she's talking to Bananas and she talks nonsense and she just makes herself sound stupid.
It's always kind of like
her.
Boy, we hate each other, don't we, Bananas? You know?
Yeah.
Like, it's just sort of that back and forth. You're like, oh, yeah, I guess you guys do hate each other, but, you know. You guys aren't actors for a reason. You know, y'all challenge stars. That's it. All right, so what's next? Mariachi band shows up. But
next, they eventually leave, and it's like, oh, don't go, but they kind of wander off.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's like this dude in the blue t-shirt walking around, and he has a t-shirt with like radio station on the back. It's like 87.2.
Yeah, hot 87.2.
And then they're like, he kind of climbs up the scaffolding and jumps around on the board and swings around and drops down, and they're all kind of watching him, okay, and then he walks off. And some of the teams, they start to notice, okay, hey, TJ said pay attention.
Mm-hmm.
And Wes is like, hey, they're just going to do this shit to fuck with us all night. That's what they're just going to keep doing weird shit, and we got to remember it. And at one point he says, like, hey, there's a 50% chance we're going to have to remember the order of all this stuff.
Right.
So certain teams, they start to catch on to what's going on. Bananas and Sarah, they were on top of it.
Corey and Ashley, they're saying, like, did you notice that guy had a different cone for the other mariachi band? Darren and Nicole, however, they're just like, you know what, let's just ignore all this. They turn around, turn their back on the entire thing,
let's
and
just
just
look over here.
Look away.
And it was great, because then it's like, they're like Wes and Nani start talking about the other teams and how they're doing, and Vince and Jenna, they're just not paying attention. They're just, no one. And then Jenna's kind of like realizing, hey, I'm looking at everyone around me, and they're talking like about paying attention to these different things that are happening to us, and we're not doing that. Like, we're just standing and watching. Maybe I should have paid attention. And Jenna's so self-deprecating. She always calls herself stupid, and I think she's smarter than she gives herself credit for. Like, she really is. Like, she kind of just realized, I need to start paying attention, and once she started paying attention, she did a good job with it.
It's true, yeah. With her notes that she was giving Vince.
She's partnered with Vince. It's not like he's thinking on an extraordinary level either.
There's not a lot of brain.
Yeah, they're not stimulating each other at all.
Oh my god, they are. And then, so that random guy, he fell off the scaffolding and shit like that. But the other thing, when it came to everyone trying to either psych each other out or whatever, I believe it was Wes and Nani. Wes was like, oh my god, look at that. And he points out, and then he whispers to Nani, he's like, I didn't actually see anything. I just want people to try and listen to us. It was awesome.
It was so awesome. Yeah, they got him to listen. Like, the look on Wes's face was great. And I feel like Wes and Nani are a really good team this year. They're mature really enough.
Making each other laugh a little bit. They're like kinda
enjoying their time there.
Yeah. But in terms of performance, they're still not that good.
Have they been receiving Bananas treatment so far? They've kind of scooted along.
What do you mean?
I don't know. Like, Bananas kind of just like gets
they were just thrown in.
Producers.
Remember the other episode?
Yeah, but like Bananas got the producer's edge, and they would kind of help them out. But like this time, maybe they're like, hey, Wes, you're not going to have to go into elimination this night. We're going to only put in white skulls, not a black one.
Well, don't.
Maybe they did that the last episode, so that way they wouldn't go against Camilla.
Right.
So maybe Wes they're getting special treatment.
But this particular episode, I mean, what I've noticed throughout the season is, they're not necessarily having these blow-ups at each other. They're actually kind of getting along enough. You know, they're not performing at 100% where they're like legit threats at all. But they do okay.
Yeah, they're a smart veteran team. They haven't been amazing in some of these challenges, but I still like them. I think they work well together so far. They've really changed their games.
Yeah, it's so weird. I mean, I'm still not letting myself invest myself in that team.
Really?
Honestly, yeah.
I like them. I'm behind them 100%. They're my favorites. Really. I love Wes and
Nani. I mean, like, this episode was good for them. I liked how they were kind of effortlessly getting along. And I was like, this is fucking weird, but I guess this is good. I just still wasn't, like, ready to... I'm just dipping my toe in it. I'm just, like, barely, like, kind of...
So good. Just
getting
give
okay
in,
with
Vince.
it, you know?
Wes and Nani. Nani's a good partner. It could have been Wes and Camilla. That would have been terrible. Wes... Oh, they would have been gone a long time ago.
That's true. And that's what I wanted originally, though.
Yeah.
Which is still the truer rivalry.
I know, but it would have ended horribly. Nani, they have a partnership, and they're working together.
Tony does not... There's a difference between Tony and Wes, though. Tony legit will not step down, and we already saw how it ended. Wes never would have cornered Camilla like that.
Oh, yeah. Exactly. And it's... But, like, Tony was driven to do that by Camilla. And, you know, Wes, he's not driven to do that by
And Vincent Bananas never would have woke Wes up and said, hey, go do this. And Wes would be like,
oh, yeah.
Fuck you. You're trying to manipulate me.
Leave me the fuck alone.
I'm pretty drunk, but I gotta go, you know, and he doesn't even get that
fucked
drunk
up. You don't wake people up when they're sleeping.
No.
That's crazy to me.
It is. It's a huge crime.
Especially
a challenge crime.
when they're drunk. Like, come on.
Yeah,
you know you're starting shit.
Yeah.
And then they're standing outside of those boxes, and then, you know, this dude on a motorcycle comes up, and the motorcycle's red and yellow, and there's a number 93 on the side of it. Mm-hmm. And he does a couple, you know, donuts, and then drives off.
Precisely. Yeah. A couple donuts. 2, to be precise.
Yes.
I don't know. Some other people might have saw it differently than me.
But then, yeah, like we were saying, Wes and Nani were talking about other teams, and Vince and Jenna aren't paying attention. Nicole and Dario are looking in the wrong direction. They cut to Nate and Christina, and they're just playing like paper, rock, scissors. Like a couple of jabronis, just like da da da. Honestly, and they're not paying attention to the shit that's going on around them. It's
honestly, Nate and Christina, they are perfectly cast, yet they are not legit rivals at all. Yeah. They get along fine. They're cute together.
They're just a couple of dorks. They're so
cute
funny.
Together. They're dorky together.
They're likable. It's weird. They're Are You the One, but like, they're both nice people. They never do anything really wrong that I can dislike.
No, and I see them getting pushed up as layups far more than Jenna and Vince. Jenna and Vince and Bananas and Sarah, they're fucking closer to the target than ever. Especially after this day, hopefully.
I feel like the teams of Dario and Nicole and Christina and Nate, I feel like they're at the bottom, along with Jamie and Kellyanne.
They are really low.
They're all at the bottom here. But then I feel like Vince and Jenna are a little step above. They have Bananas, Sarah, Wes, and Nani. They just get that veteran clout, even though Wes and Nani might not even be able to compete against some of these Are You the One teams.
Well, there's only 8. And that's what I realized when it was all said and done, where all the teams stood there in boxes. I'm like, there's only 8 here. It really kind of made the challenge
a bit of a shock
to
me.
Yeah, it was weird. I expected like 12 teams because like no one seems to leave and no one is eliminated for too long before they're brought back and shit. So it was just so fucking weird. And the fact that Tony and Camilla just left without an elimination at all, again, is so fucking weird.
I feel like they should be participating in this challenge.
But yet it happens so... Like, how many teams do we lose without a legit elimination? Do we know? 4? 3?
I feel like it's probably 4.
Something like that. Just, I'm glad that we call ourselves podcasters of this show. We're like, oh, we're huge fans. We don't even know the season. But, yeah, there's been a lot. All right? And almost too much. But let's get, next comes out the welder. he takes this tank, this oil tank, maybe. I don't know what the fuck he's trying to do.
A big metal barrel, and he's just like gonna weld it. And he has a torch, but he's just blowing the flames on it. He's not really welding anything. Like if you're welding, you're holding it in one specific area. He's just kind of waving it around. Kind of looked like a guy who didn't know how to weld was welding.
Okay.
He looked like kind of an idiot. And then another guy comes up and like taps him on the shoulder or something, like to kind of pick on him. And then he stands up and he lights the other dude on fire. Well, it seems they're just standing there in their boxes and they're like, "What the fuck are we watching?"
That's crazy, man. Like I liked it. Honestly, you saw this clip on the trailer. And I'm like, are you kidding me? They're going to try and pretend to, like, burn Wes alive or something like that. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, that's what I thought they were going to try and do. They were going to make some elimination seem like, oh my God, they were set on fire, you know? Like, I honestly felt that they were really going to try and pull something like that off. And I was like, this is going to be great when it happens because it's going to look awful. But
the trailer did make it look like we were going to see that at one point. And to see it's just a couple of stuntmen was a disappointment, for sure.
It was, but at the same time,
I thought it was going to be people
to better use. And in terms of like how everyone has to pay attention and stuff, everyone's saying like, "Holy shit, this is going to be at the end." This puzzle, way in the morning the next day.
Yep.
The fact that they were like, "Okay, we have to pay attention," I was like, "Holy shit, maybe I should try and pay attention." Even though I'm writing these notes, I wasn't legitimately trying to remember everything that was happening.
I'm looking around, but I'm knowing that there's so much information to take in, it's kind of impossible to do everything. So and just like the teams, they're doing like, okay, we'll remember numbers and colors.
Right.
And names. Stuff like that. Which all seems pretty, kind of basic. And stuff you need to remember. But this is a long night. It's going on for hours and hours. And their hair is slowly just looking worse and worse, and their faces are getting longer and longer, and they're more and more tired. Like, some of them are like, "Oh, I was going to take a nap today, but I didn't. The one day I don't take a nap, now we're going to do this." And they're like, they haven't eaten in forever, they're starving.
Yeah. Well,
thank God, a taco truck shows up, pulled by a burro.
Fernando's taco salad, right? Or whatever. Taco stand pulled by a donkey.
The jackass with the hat. Vince called him a jackass. He was like instigating more fucking shit again.
The other thing about Vince is that Vince keeps on touching Jenna. I believe this is by the second box. They have to. The horn is blown.
He's
they have to go to
leaning
the second
on
box.
her. He's wrapping.
Always
his arms
massaging her and shit, and she's just like giving this face like, "Don't touch me." Like, this is
feel like
fucking
if she
annoying.
didn't like it, she would have said something at the time. But we were watching this footage back, and there's like 6 or 7 different instances of him doing it, and her never pushing him away. I feel like she was complicit in the actions. She says in the interview afterwards, like, "Oh, I don't like this," but I think she.
This is a woman who dated a woman-hating man named Zach, and then got cheated on for 2 years by a man named Jay. She is not going to just say, "Stop massaging me, Vinny, all fucking night and day." This is a pushover chick. She should really start standing up for herself.
It's kind of her weakness. I love Jenna, but you're right. She does need to do better in that area of her life.
But
she needs to stand up for herself. But you know what? No. She's there in the challenge,
we love you,
and her and her partner, they're kind of flirting with each other, and you know.
Ew. Really? Jenna's not flirting with him.
Well, he's flirting with her, and she's not stopping it. She's just having fun with it.
What? Really?
I think so. She's not putting a stop to it, is she?
She's clearly annoyed. Have you seen her face? She's just like.
Well, in the interview afterwards, because she's trying to cover up for her.
No,
actions.
I totally disagree.
She
all right. Well, apparently, you think Vince and Jenna are banging or flirting. I do not think so at all.
I think
they're true rivalries. I mean, they don't hate each other, but she does not care for him at all.
I think when you're standing in a box, you will get very sore, and that if your partner can massage you, it would probably feel pretty good. So they're going to massage each other because it feels good for the best of the challenge, but they don't want to admit that anything fishy's going on.
Good point. Well,
right.
All right, I guess. But hey, either way though, the fact that massaging would help. That's a good argument.
Yeah, I just swapped my argument at the end there to the right one.
All right. So, anyways, they pass out some tacos, and they all get to eat. That's great.
And then, like, Nicole and Dario, they're talking about the order of things. They're like, okay, we need to remember what's going on. And they start arguing about which people came out first. Was it the band that came out, or was it that guy with the blue shirt with the radio station on the back? Like, who was the first people out there? And Dario and Nicole, they're arguing. They don't know what's going on. Complete failure of a team.
Dario was like, the band was first, which was first, and what was after that? The guy who goes on top of the scaffolding and almost falls down. You know,
he kind of clanks on Nicole's that plank and then he swings around to the ladder.
Yeah, that was second, but Nicole's like, no, that guy on the scaffolding in the blue t-shirt, radio shirt, that was first and shit. I was like, that's hilarious.
And then as we're watching that, like, you have like two guys in masks running around, and they were like a couple of luchadors with chainsaws.
Yeah, exactly, dude.
They just jump through the woods, and they're like, wow. And they have jerseys on. It's like Gonzalez and Hernandez or something.
Oh, in bad taste, Hernandez too soon.
Hernandez? Who's
that? A football?
Oh, the guy who murdered some people is going to jail. Aaron Hernandez.
Yeah.
It's not saying the victims' names. It's saying his name. It's a very common Mexican name. They're in Mexico.
It was a joke that you took far too serious.
I did.
Instead of laughing, you're like, I don't believe so because it's been a couple months.
I wanted to go politically correct with it, and I didn't know where to go. And I got lost, and I was like, what do I do?
But the fucking the chainsaw part, the chainsaw part and the luchador mask is badass. I was just like, oh, this is fucking awesome. Honestly, like, I was kind of fascinated with all this random shit the producers came up with.
It was
to
a
me,
lot of fun.
I was impressed. I was.
And the teams, they were getting amused by it. They were obviously getting tired and more tired as it was going along. But every type of thing, they would have a certain reaction to it. And it was something that stimulated all the teams, and they were kind of still excited.
Exactly.
Like, shit just kept getting weirder and weirder. Like, Bananas is like, whoa, those tacos that you guys fed us seem like, maybe we're on LSD now. We're freaking out. And then basically, they keep cutting to the, like, later in the night. At this point, it's 3:30 in the morning. They're pretty freaking tired. And then, like, a juggler comes out. The dude's juggling. He's got some balls. And
he's doing the crystal ball thing. You ever see that?
Yeah,
David Bowie did
rolling it around.
David Bowie did that shit.
The Labyrinth. Didn't Dario? Didn't he acknowledge it?
Yeah, it was probably Dario who made the reference. I tried to do a David Bowie impression. Yeah, it's all very kind of gay and...
Exactly. You're wearing spandex at the time. You're very Dennis Reynolds.
Yeah.
It's femme rock.
Yeah. You're into this 80s
glam rock
shit.
Yeah,
glam rock femme shit. Yeah. Okay, so what's after that? Crystal Ball. Yeah, and then he also
the horn blows again.
Yeah.
And then they step down to the next box.
Tinier
so it's even tinier. And now, Vince and Jenna are just holding each other probably at this point.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Seems like it. And then all the other teams are kind of just standing next to each other, holding onto each other's shoulders. I feel like Nate and Christina were like standing back to back with their arms hooked together,
interlocked.
And then you kind of see all the different teams standing in a different position to like kind of keep them comfortable. And they've been doing this for hours and hours. And
but
for them.
And Nate and Christina, like again, you see them interlocked, back to back, leaning on each other. It's such a mutual like that would be comfy for both of us. They are honestly the most unrivalry team here. I feel like they get along the most.
I think you're right.
All right, so now next comes in a dude. Actually, isn't there like two people come in with an iguana?
Yeah.
One guy's holding the iguana, right? And he gives it to everyone to take a picture with, right?
Yep.
So was the second dude just the cameraman?
I think so. He's like, yeah, we're going to take a picture with you and Alberto.
Yeah, Alberto.
And he's got the gold chain.
Big ass iguana, yeah.
And they're going up to all the teams taking pictures with it, and it was a fun little thing they had going on. I enjoyed it.
See, it's not torturous, you know what I mean? These are bizarre, like once in a lifetime things stacked up back to back to back.
They're watching jugglers, they're getting pictures taken of them. They're eating tacos. They're getting all the good stuff of Mexican culture. They're not fighting with any drug lords, are they?
No,
everyone has their battling Zika virus? No.
Oh no.
I don't think so.
Oh no.
Instead, it's just, they have luchadors with chainsaws and taco trucks and jugglers and, mariachi bands.
Oh yeah.
And dirt bike riders. Somehow that's Mexican. I'm not sure why.
So towards the end, they're all like, when is TJ going to show up? Because I figured 9 o'clock in the morning. And I feel like a lot of the other challengers
thought be like
so
8
as well.
or 8:30.
Yeah, something like that, right? But it's 10:30, something like that.
Yeah, they go from 5 to 6:45, and they're like, it's getting later and later. Now it's 9:45, and they're like, this is bogus.
And they didn't even have anyone show up. Nothing else to hey, wake up, man, check this out.
Just
the rest was torture.
The dude at the iguana was the last thing, and that was at 5 in the morning. And the next 5 hours, they just gave him nothing. They just stood there. Wow, that was torturous. They went from 5 to 10:30, and you didn't have one thing exciting for them to look at or watch.
Ooh, yeah.
TJ, he finally shows up at 10:30, and they're like, oh, yeah, nice of you to stop by finally.
Bananas did an amazing TJ impersonation beforehand, though.
It was great. I have not seen something this good from Bananas in a long time.
Exactly. I was like, oh, Bananas, that was amazing. Yeah,
he just puts his fingers together and
he kind of cocks the eyebrows a little bit, just kind of this perpetual, perhaps I am stoned, or I'm inquisitive, you know what I mean?
And then he just puts his fingers together and looks back and forth, just,
It was
I like TJ.
It was great.
I like him a lot, but this was such a good spot-on impersonation. I've never seen one before. And Bananas nailed it. This is the funniest shit that Bananas has said in a long time.
For sure.
I give him props.
It was awesome. So at 10:30, TJ finally shows up and he says, "All right, so now this is part 2. You're gonna put the events that happen, like the chainsaw, the fucking scaffolding dude, the fire. You're gonna put that
truck,
in the
juggler,
chronological order. Plus, there's gonna be some questions that you have to answer for every single event. So a complex fucking puzzle and trivia, which are different, right? Do you agree? Puzzle and trivia are different stuff.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, puzzles are hands-on. Trivia is just questions.
Yeah. And they don't get into it too much.
No, but yeah, we get to see some of the questions, and they have these 2 polls, and they're going to stack up the answers, and they have to do it in chronological order. There's lots of numbers and colors involved. There's different questions about what was the number, or what was the color of the shoes of the juggler, or what was the number of this?
Oh shit!
And it seems pretty cool.
Right.
But we run out of time for the episode, so we were cutting to next time, basically, on the challenge, and we miss out on that. And it kind of sucks when episodes don't have an elimination. We had Tony and Camilla get sent home because of their confrontation.
Yeah.
But we don't see the conclusion of this mission because it was so long. This is a very complex mission that is very unusual compared to other missions. A lot of times it's a very simple game. This one is all night long. You're up forever. It was more like something they would do in a finale, not just a standard episode.
Yeah, that was the thing. TJ's this is established as part of the final. The sleeping or staying up all night, sleep deprivation, exactly. And so I'm like, oh god, but that's probably my least favorite part of the finals lately.
They did it in the subway on Bloodlines.
Oh, it was awful.
And it was boring because they got kicked out of the subway eventually because they were there too late in the evening, too early in the morning.
Okay, but oh god, I lost track completely. But anyways, the other thing is that you had to pay attention to detail, and sure enough, a lot of these women, they can pay attention to detail. That's what they do in life, man. They always oh, his shoes are ugly, they're red. The juggler you mentioned. Yeah. That's exactly what Nani said.
Girls
I'm paying attention.
Shoes and clothes.
Yeah. And I was like, this is brilliant. This is in retrospect afterwards, I'm like, holy shit. A lot of chicks do this on the reg. You know what I mean? Like, that's just part of life. You just, like, pay attention to little details because that's how you stab at your enemy. You know what I mean?
Oh, you got a lot of pent-up aggression here, man.
No, the women do. At least the women that I know.
Oh,
Bitches,
always the
man.
victim.
They're always
never
just
the
like
bridesmaid.
they're always just like looking at each other, just like, this is my best friend, supposedly, even though they hate each other. Like, you ever watch Arrested Development and there's Lucille and Lucille too?
Oh yeah,
You know that passive aggressive frenemy that they
back
have.
and forth stabbing at each other.
I know
just
so
like,
many fucking girls that are like
just-
that, and it's just annoying.
Oh, just the back and forth where they want to start the drama, and when you give it to them and you talk drama back to them, they feed off it and they like it. Women do that. They really enjoy drama. And if you get into a fight, they want to. Hey, let's talk about it. Let's really fucking get into it. And it's like, okay, you're just trying to feed your own ego to talk about yourself more. You're just getting off on this. You're not even trying to fix anything.
But with all that being said, good episode. I know you didn't really care for it too much, and I understand it, but like, this season's kind of like, I've been conditioned to not expect a full episode, you know, where I'm just like, I'm less satisfied or anything like that. You know what I mean? It's going to be frustrating. This is a frustrating season. That's what Bloodlines was. Well, I guess I don't have anything else to add to this episode. So I'll say like, subscribe, comment, share. Check out some other seasons that we have. I gotta pimp out some shit. Let's pimp out some shit, man.
Duel 1.
Duel 1.
Bloodlines. Rivals 1.
Gauntlet 1.
Solo style.
Solo style, yeah. Oh, speaking of solo style, check out, I think it's, God, I don't even remember my own titles. Top 10 Richest Challengers. Battle of the Challengers podcast with Vincent Cloud.
And David Lauer.